How's everybody doing today? Or giving everybody a few minutes to get on. Have a chance to share with everybody. So I would like you guys to do that if you guys possibly can. Share with everybody. That's what I'm going to do now. Is share with everyone that's coming on today because we have something good. We're going to be talking about heart health. Okay. Give me just a few seconds. I'm going to send out to everybody. I hope you guys are having a beautiful evening as I am. I'm very thankful for on tonight. Um, very excited about it because February is Heart Health. So I'm really, really excited about it. So I hope you guys, with Sacred Healing, this is a platform where I will be giving you information, knowledge, and let me go to my comments, you guys, because I am not even in the comments. So I don't know who. Okay, here we go. So good evening, everybody. But yeah, so Sacred Healing is going to be breaking down information. We're going to be touching all areas, mind, body, and soul. And because it is the month of February, I want to talk about heart health and how important it is for us as people to make sure that we are compliant with taking care of our health. Good evening, Cynthia. Cynthia, I'm going to be talking about heart health on tonight. So we're going to be talking about just basic heart health. I could go into more of a deep conversation about it, but that would take more time, and that would be something that I would do as far as educational courses and stuff to really break down all that. But on tonight, I want to go into how can we be proactive in our heart health. There's so many people out here that suffer from high blood pressure or dealing with that. It could be very common to some. And there's some things that we could do to really help us out. And I'm really an advocate for it. I've been studying it for a while now, and it's very important for us because it functions so much. And a lot of times we overlook that, how important that it really is until we're in the doctor's office and they're telling us, you have high blood pressure and you possibly may need to be put on medication. A lot of times they give you preventative things that we can do as far as exercising, changing your diet. But if you don't know, I wanted to give you some just general information so you can have for yourself, so you can have full understanding why it is so important that we take care of our health. The heart is specialized muscle with four chambers, okay, designed to maintain blood flow to the lungs and the body, okay, functionally. The heart can be divided into the right and left halves, each which have an upper chamber. Okay. The heart is a double pump. One half pumps blood through the systematic circulation, and the other half pumps blood through the pulmonary. Okay. So, but this being said, I'm going to go ahead and break that down just real quick so you can have the understanding of why it is so important. And when I was doing my studying, because I always have stuff to study. Good evening, Angela. I always have stuff to study, so I'm always reading and up on this. And sometimes, people think, oh my God, this is so boring. Well, it's not boring when it's something that can be beneficial to you. But when I said something about how the heart is a double pump, one half pumps to the systematic circulation, provides a functional blood supply to all body tissue. It carries oxygen and nutrients to cells and picks up carbon dioxide and waste. The systematic circulation carries oxygenated blood through the left ventricle arteries to the capillaries to the body's tissue. Okay? The other half, when I was saying, was pumping through the pulmonary circulation. Okay? Remember, I said it was two pumps. The pulmonary circulation vessel that carries the blood from the heart to the lungs, where it picks up oxygen and releases carbon dioxide before returning to the heart. It is vital respiratory gas exchange function that the lungs take over from the placenta at birth. Okay? This is so important. Okay? How our blood flows through. Now, mind you, there's so many things that we could do preventative for it. Okay? I'm a firm believer in preventative care. Um, for me, it is important for us to do things preventive. A lot of people say, well, there's nothing going on. I don't have high blood pressure. I'm not going through anything. But when we get to a certain age, our body changes. So what we used to eat, what we used to do, we just can't do. Okay? Our body regulates differently. So for me, I believe in the preventative care. So I don't have high blood pressure, okay? I never had. My blood pressure was always on the lower spectrum. Okay. So I never really had to experience, but it doesn't mean that it can't sneak up on me. So I do things that are preventative. I want to share a few things that I do for preventative care for heart health. One, I take cinnamon. Cinnamon is very good for blood pressure. Not only is good for that, but it's good for your metabolism. So there's others, there's always a numerous things when you're dealing with herbs and spices. It's not just one thing that it will touch, but it will help. How you doing, Nicole? Miss you, sweetheart, too. And so that's another thing that I take. I also take aged garlic. Garlic is really good for heart health. Okay, if you guys can see that. It's also good for your immune system. It's also an antioxidant. Okay, so which is good for our body. Mind you, I'm all about the heart because the heart is very important for us. It blood circulation through our body. And here's another one that I take. Heart health. This has a lot of nutrients in it. It has hibiscus in it. It also does have some cinnamon. It has some turmeric in it, which I also take turmeric too for inflammation. But to getting the inflammation out of our body, I am diagnosed. I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm so glad you're doing good. So this is why it's so important to have to be preventative, because you can go into the doctor and they go in. You might be having some symptoms of shortness of breath, tightening in the chest. You might be feeling a little dizzy. You might feel just tired, weak, um, all sorts of different things. I'm looking up some stuff. I'm sorry. Okay, and so being mindful of how our body works. Okay, being mindful of what we eat is so important. Um, that one point in my life, I didn't really look too much on the nutrient package of what I was eating and reading labels. But now I'm very adamant about reading what is on the back of what I'm eating. What is the sodium intake that I take? So if you're thinking about it, how much sodium is in processed food? How much sodium is in frozen foods? It is so important for us that we look at what's the sodium levels in it, because if you do have high blood pressure, you need to be looking at what the sodium levels are. For me personally, especially if it's somebody who has high blood pressure, you don't really want to go over 1,500 milligrams of sodium in your diet. So I try to between for me it's like 2,000 to that's an all to 1,500. I try to, for me personally, I intention to stay in the 1,500. But even if you do have high blood pressure, staying in the 1,500 milligrams is really good of sodium uh, in total. Okay, so you're not wanting to be over here just overindulging. They have some good herbs and spices that you can really indulge in to really help. I cook with a lot of herbs and spices, so I don't do salt. Okay, I do Himalaya salt, Celtic salt, but very little even in that. They're minerals, but I don't overindulge in that. So I believe in doing a lot of my spices. I do oregano in there. I'm sorry. I have, not only do I do oregano, I like my black pepper, I like my turmeric, I like my cumin. There is so many different spices that you could use to benefit your body. Even in your oils that you have that you cook with, you can infuse those to help you with that. Also, what are you eating throughout the day? What do you suggest for inflammation on the left lung? Okay, well, we will definitely now that question is, where's that inflammation coming from your left lung? Have you been diagnosed with that? There's different situations. It's just not a simple thing. I can go into details. Are you a smoker? Have you been around people who do smoke? So you can be secondhand smoke. Why is it that you're having inflammation in that left lung? Respiratory distress. So you can hit me in a DM, Nicole, and give me a little bit more information on that. For me just to give you that outwardly, I would have to have more information. Or why is this inflammation in your left lung, sweetheart? So back to the heart health. So doing so, um, I'm very mindful of what I put into my body because I want to be able to. Okay, sweetheart. Once you get them, I'll just send it to me and I'll help you out. So I'm very mindful of what I put into my body, and I'm always reading like, okay, so how is this going to benefit me? And so I try my best. Not try. I'm intentionally my best to put nutrients into my body. And so with this, meaning how many of you guys may be experiencing, have experienced, know somebody who has high blood pressure? Well, you know what? We don't want to overwork our heart. You know what I'm saying? So exercising is very good. Circulating the blood through, getting the oxygen going through your body. When we become sedative, it is not good for us. Our heart muscles starting to weaken, just like your regular muscles starting to weaken. We have to have circulation going through our bodies, going through our limbs, going through everything that helps our lungs, the way they function. It's all works together. So when we keep that in mind, you're like, okay, well, you know what? This is the most important because if our heart gives out, that's it, y'all. It is a silent killer. Some of us may not even have symptoms. Some of us may not even have really bad symptoms. You go in for your a follow up. You go in there for a yearly checkup. You go in there for something other than you thinking it has to do with your heart, and the next thing you know, you're going into an emergency surgery to have some heart surgery because you didn't have any symptoms. Okay. Another thing that I do that you guys always see me post is I also do a lot of beetroot because that helps with the blood circulation. That brings oxygen through your body, that helps going through the muscles in your body. So it's really, really good for your heart. Okay. Another thing too, majority of the time I'm eating fruit, I'm eating vegetables. I don't even eat lunch meat anymore. Not from the deli, not from pre-packed, because the sodium that is in there, that's processed food. We're thinking, oh, it's healthy, it's turkey, it's chicken. No, it's processed food. It has a lot of sodium in it. When we can go ahead and buy a half of a turkey, bake it, boil it, whatever you got to do, shred it up, season it with your herbs, put all your little, onions, green peppers, and everything, and make a wonderful sandwich that way. Chips. Think about the chips, the dye that is in the food, the sodium level. A lot of people like to eat chips. How many of you like to snack on Doritos, Lay's, Pringles, all that? It's not good for you. That's high in sodium. Processed food. You would be surprised when we cut out a lot of these prepackaged foods. Um, Also, sugar builds inflammation in the body, which is not good for the heart. We need to eliminate inflammation in our body. So this removes toxics out of our body. Okay, and that's what it's about. And that's what holistic health is about, preventative care. And I'm here on tonight to give you preventative suggestions of what you can do. Eliminating stress is a big factor. Stress on the heart, let me tell you what, you can literally stroke and heart attack just with stress. Well, you know what you say, it's easier said than done, Regina. You're not dealing with what I'm dealing with. You're not going through what I'm going through. So how could you say eliminate the stress? Well, you know what? When it comes to your life and what's beneficial to you, you are going to do whatever it takes to relieve that stress. Exercise helps that. For me, it does. And I'm not saying you got to go run a mile. I'm saying, you know what? You could take a walk. You could take a 10-minute walk. You could take a 5-minute walk. When do we invest into ourselves and for our health until we take it serious? Or do we wait until we put too much scarring and damage on our heart? And now we have to be put on high blood pressure medicine. Do we wait to that point? Do we wait to where we can actually manage it by the food that we eat? Can you believe that we can actually manage high blood pressure by the food that we eat? That means we can eliminate even getting it. And then I always hear, well, you know what? family history runs in my family. You know, we have high blood pressure. Okay, why do we have high blood pressure in our family? Why is it hereditary? What is your family eating? What did you grow up on eating? Is it hereditary because we all have the same diet that my grandmother had, that my mama had, that my daddy had, that my uncle had, that my sister had, and we just continue on eating these things? Okay? It is so important. Then another thing too is carrying excessive weight for our body height, our height of of how much weight that we should have. It is, not only that, you strain the heart to work harder, to pump harder, because we're carrying excessive weight for our body. And then here we are having heart health issues. That's not good for us. Trust me. I'm not just saying this just to be saying it. I'm educating you guys so you guys can have a better understanding that, hey, you know what? I can take the next steps to monitoring my blood pressure. Let me show you how. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. Put it on. One click. Here's what I found. Sorry. Oh, my phone. One click. That's all it takes. Blood pressure, pulse. You can check it every day if you want. If you're going to check it, make sure that if you're going to eat, wait 30 minutes till afterwards. Also make sure that you're not moving around. You're in a stable situation, that your arm is at uh, on a table where your arm is right even with your heart. Okay. Making sure if you're going to exercise, do it after 30 minutes after you exercise. But let's start taking a journal of how our heart is working. I check mine all the time. I want to see where my numbers are at. I'm always checking. And I don't even have blood, but you know what? Something can change. So if you do have high blood pressure, you should be checking on a regular basis. This way you can start seeing what things trigger in your body. What did you eat today? Oh, okay. One day my blood pressure was really good. Keeping a journal of what you're eating. Then you take your blood pressure the next day. You know what? I added something to my diet, and you know what? It just didn't do all that great. My blood pressure was elevated. Now my blood pressure is elevated. Now I can know, you know what? I can't have that. I need to eliminate this. But a lot of times we don't want to put the work in to see what it is that's triggering our bodies. Okay. Some may work for some and some may not. So there's always something that can work for us. Okay. So don't just think, okay, there's just one way where Regina said you got to take this and that. No, there's other things that we can do to help, because each body, is made differently. Okay. So one herb or one spice may not work for you. Just like one medication may not work for you, so the doctor is going to prescribe you another medication, maybe a higher dose, maybe a lower dose. Okay, so let's just be mindful that in the month of February, what we can do is say, you know what, hey, this is Heart Health Month. What can I do? What steps can I make to say, you know what, I'm going to do for the month of February? I'm going to journal down what I'm eating. What does my dinner consist of? What does my breakfast consist of? What does my lunch consist of? What am I drinking? All those things. Are you drinking sugary foods? Are you drinking a lot of sodas? Are you drinking a lot of things that are high in caffeine? What are you putting into your body? Because what we fuel our body also fuels our mind. Blood pressure, what is considered high and low? Well, consider high, anything over 120 over 80, and low could be like 90, 94 over 80, 94 over 60 is low. Mine runs in more of the low. I've been like this my whole life. So a lot of times when I would go to the physician, they're like, are you okay? I mean, your blood pressure is really low. And then they'll look at my history and it says, okay, your blood pressure is always low. No, I don't get lightheaded. I used to, before I was eating right. And so now that I eat right and I put the right supplements in my body, I don't have those symptoms anymore. So yours is wonderful. 116 over 6, honey, you real good, baby. You real good. So that is really well. But anything like when we get a little bit lower and if it's not normally for you, then you could be a little concerned, but not too much. You just start making sure that you're not feeling dizzy, you're not feeling fatigue, you're not feeling where you're a little foggy and stuff. You start feeling those things, then yes, then we might need to consider, getting that checked out. You're welcome, sweetheart. So yeah, so let's educate ourselves. Let's educate, how is it that we could be better? How is it that we can be healthier? And that's what it's about. Loving yourself enough to say, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that this one body, I only have one body. Yes, I drink plenty of water is wonderful. Drinking a lot of water and staying hydrated is a big factor about that. My water that I drink, I love water, but I also infuse my water because I also want to have a natural diuretic in it. So with my water, I put lemon in it. I also like to have an anti-inflammatory in it. So I put about a few slices of fresh ginger. And then I also put a cinnamon stick in it. So I like to infuse my water. I'm one of those ones that infuses water. I do just drink plain water, but 9 times out of 10, I'm infusing my water. Let me see if do I have it here? Give me just a second. There was some other stuff that I had. My desk here. I'm in my office, so you got to excuse me. Making sure that I have, okay, here we go. And I want to share another thing that I infuse my water with. I got these two things here. So when I'm out and about, you guys see, when I'm out and about and I'm at a restaurant and I want my lemons and all this other stuff, let's see. I got one more, guys. Excuse me. I want to give it to you because I want to show you. Where is that? Here we go. So these are the three things. And I'm also and you guys can get this from me too. I've been using these essential oils for a good 9 years now. So I believe in essential oils. And they're just a little bit more potent than, other oils. But one of the things that I infuse my water with, and I take it with me all the time, so I'm always keeping it on deck. And throughout Sacred Healing, I will be sharing these things with you. But lemon, one drop will taste like a whole lemon. So I infuse my water. I keep it in my purse. One drop, I put it. And like I said, you guys can get this from me. I have a website for it. I also do lime. Lime is another one that I infuse my water with. And I also infuse my water with peppermint. Okay. So this is a good one. Peppermint's good too, also for respiratory and stuff like that. But infusing your water with lemon, it does wonders. A wonderful diuretic for your body. So it eliminates a lot of water weight that you may have. So definitely stay hydrated. Definitely add exercise to your daily. I can't express that even so much, that how important it is for us to exercise and not be just sitting and not doing anything, because your body will break down if we don't have any circulation going through our body and allowing our blood to flow and allowing our heart to function the way it's supposed to. I can remember my journey before I am where I am now, how tired I felt, how fatigued I felt, how my body just didn't feel like it should, and it wasn't moving the way that it should. I was having shortness of breath. I could walk, basic walk up the stairs, and I was having some shortness of breath, y'all. Like, it was starting to hard to breathe. And I was like, wait a minute. Now, mind you, I told you I had low blood pressure, but doesn't mean that just because I don't have high blood pressure that my heart ain't working like it's supposed to. The strain that it is because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And that's how our bodies is. I wasn't putting the right food in my system. I was eating whatever I felt like eating when I wanted to eat it, whatever I was craving. I think the worst thing that I weakness was ice cream. I would get ice cream I would go to Cold Stone and get the founder's favorite, get a big old thing. And I would eat on it in the evening before I was going to bed. That was putting weight on me. You know, it was building inflammation in my body. I was carrying it in my abdomen. So everywhere else, I wasn't gaining weight, but in my abdomen area, which is not good because if you're a small frame and you're just carrying it all in the abdomen area, you're definitely a candidate for high blood pressure and high cholesterol and diabetes. Guaranteed. And then it starts to affect you. My body started breaking down. I was feeling enormous pain in my body. I was getting headaches, my eye pains. I don't even have eye pains anymore, you guys. I used to have eye pains where it felt like needles, like it felt like a needle would just shoot through my eye and it would catch me off. And sometimes my eye would have blood vessels that would pop, so my eyes would get really, really red and veiny in there because of that. You know, it's blood circulation. My limbs were hurting, my legs would hurt. You know, they would start tingling. You know, a lot of times we're wondering like we have the restless leg syndrome. I can guarantee you it's just because we're not moving. The blood circulation is not going through like it should properly. So I was dealing with things like that. So I come from where I've experienced with my own body when I was not doing what I was supposed to do. So I encourage you guys on here on tonight to let's stand together, because I'm here for you. However it is that you want to be healthy. If I don't know, I can guarantee you I can find out, and if I can guide you into the right direction, because I believe to be an advocate for my people to live flourishing. I'm an advocate for my people to have a healthy life, because you know a lot of us have a lot of things to do. I know I do. There's a lot of things that I need to accomplish. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish and that I'm going to accomplish. And in order for me to be at my optimal best, I have to be in the best health. I can't function doing the things that I'm striving to do and I'm sitting here with bad health. It's just, it doesn't make sense. I have to go to the doctors. I'm have to go here and there, because I've chosen to invest into other things instead of into myself first. And once I decided to invest into myself first and getting my health right, everything else flowed. Okay. I was just talking about it this evening about how I can remember when how I was when I first began. Like, man, I never thought that I would be where I'm at today. How hard it seemed at the very, very beginning. I remember there were so many times that I just wanted to throw in the towel. There were so many times that I just said, you know what, I'm tired. My body's aching, my headache. I'm looking in the mirror all the time, thinking, when am I going to see the results? And once I stopped looking at in the mirror all the time, trying to analyze of what the changes were, I just kept going. So the first time that I was getting on the treadmill, I could only stand in 5 minutes and I was already dizzy. So I already knew my heart wasn't working the way it was supposed to, because 5 minutes on the treadmill, and it wasn't even, I couldn't even walk, I couldn't even run. It went to a fast pace and then it went down to a slow pace, and I would get off and I'd be like, you know what, now I got to get on here tomorrow. And I didn't want to, because I was so embarrassed for myself and discouraged that I allowed myself to get this far gone. But because my body was breaking down, every other time I wasn't having the symptoms, but because my body was breaking down, that is what made me go to where I'm at today. So I just want to encourage you guys. What is the question? I walk 3.6 miles a day. Well, yes, 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 yes. That's perfect, sweetheart. That's why your blood pressure is the way it is. And you keep doing it. Don't stop for nobody. You just walk, you get out there and meditate, because that's wonderful, because that helps the stress. I remember you saying you like to walk outside. So I want you guys to join me this month of February. No, February is going to come by quick. But let's be active. Let's be advocates for our own. Okay, let's be an example for everyone around us. You're welcome, sweetheart. Let's be an advocate for everybody around us. I'm here to be an example. to share as much knowledge as I can. If there's any questions that you guys have, please DM me. Let me know what's going on. I can give you suggestions. I can give you regimens, and we can get you, where you need to be. Okay? But I pray and hope that this was beneficial for you. I pray and hope that there will be a shifting in your mindset. I pray and hope that there will be some transformations in your life. And I believe with you that if you put yourself first and invest into yourself, you will see a change. Remember what I'm always saying: if the mind is sick, the body is sick. And I'm also always saying, you are not your diagnosis. I don't claim nothing that's going to damage my body, because the mind is so powerful, you guys. I got to get off of here because I'm going over time. But the mind is so powerful, okay, that we can literally transform. But it has to start up here. It's in the mind. You have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be so tired of feeling the way that you do. You have to say, you know what? Today is the day that I'm going to make a change. Today is the day that I'm going to stand up for myself. Today is the day to say, you know what? What is the steps that I can take to live a healthier life? Number one, let's start journaling and keep a note. What is it that I eat in a day? How does it benefit my body? Okay. Number two, let's get some exercising going. Okay. Number three, let's get some stress relief. Okay. Whether it's walking, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's just sitting in silence, whether it's doing some kind of artwork, whether it's doing dancing, whatever it is, apply it. Okay. But I must go, and I'll be back. Like I said, sacred healing, mind, body, and soul is coming 2025. We're going to start breaking down everything for us to flourish, from the mind, the body, and the soul. Okay? I'm going to be bringing information to you guys. I'm going to have a load of wonderful things so we can all flourish together. I love you guys. I thank you. I appreciate you guys for coming on tonight. God bless you guys. And we will see you again on next Wednesday. Again, join me tomorrow on Empower Mornings. We have a guest. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all have a wonderful day. Love y'all. Bye-bye.